Alright, good morning everyone, and thank you for joining this conflict resolution meeting. My name is SYAFIQ and I will be your facilitator today. The purpose of this meeting is to address the different perspective around the issue, which is exotic animals are not pets. So our goal today is not to argue but to listen, understand, and move towards a respectful and informed resolution. So, before we begin, I would like to establish a few ground rules to ensure a respectful and productive discussion. One person speak at a time, respect all viewpoints, even those you may not agree with, no interruption or personal attacks, stay focused on the issue and not the individual. And the last one is let's keep the conversation evidence-based where it's possible. So does anyone have a question or wish to add anything before we proceed? Alright. Okay, so the central issue today is should exotic animals such as snakes, monkey, or wild cats be kept as domestic pets? There are concerns raised around ethics, animal welfare, public safety, and environmental impact. At the same time, some individuals argue that responsible ownership is possible. We are here to explore both sides, address the conflict, and work towards mutual understanding. I would like to invite both parties or representative of the perspective to briefly share their view. All right, let's go for the first perspective from Saad Afif.
Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to begin by thanking you all for being here today. The objective of today's meeting is to address our growing concern, the rising trend of exotic pet ownership. We are here to identify the core problems linked to this trend and work together toward practical long-term solutions, both from a policy and awareness perspective. I have structured our my discussion into three main agenda items, each with a specific purpose and short time allocation to keep us on track. We will also reserve time for open discussion at the end. First of all, I would like to discuss about the understanding the situation. So here, in recent years, owning exotic animals such as snakes, parrots, and monkeys, and even big cats has become increasingly popular. I think that many individuals are drawn to the uniqueness and rarity of these animals. So this demand has created a high value market where these animals are sold for a large amount. For some, it's simply a business opportunity. However, these animals are often taken from the wild or breed in unethical conditions to meet consumer demand. And number two is identifying the complications. Let's move on to the problem. In my opinion, this market creates several economic and social implications. First of all, it encourages illegal wildlife trade, which is often untaxed and unregulated, leading to significant revenue loss for governments. It also disrupts local economies in the countries where this species came from, affecting tourism and natural biodiversity. Secondly, the cost of owning such pets is extremely high. These animals require spatial diets and spatial environments and expert care. Most pet owners are not financially prepared. As a result, many of these animals are abandoned, returning to the shelter and public agencies, which means ultimately the taxpayers. Now I would like to propose my solutions. Now let's focus on solutions, and I believe we should consider introducing stronger laws and penalties for both buyers and sellers for exotic pets. This could include fines, trade restrictions, or strict licensing requirements. With respect, I also propose that we increase public awareness, educating people on this hidden cost and ethical concern of owning exotic animal. Finally, promoting the adoption of local pets is also a constructive way to support ethical pet ownership and keep resources circulating in our local economy. That's all from my part. Thank you so much.
So, I would like to share my choice thoughts on why wild animals should not keep the appetite. Exactly when we look at from the economical point of view. Firstly, take wild animals out to natural hurt the environment. When animals like snakes, poachers, or colorful fish are taken from the wild, It can be broke the balances of nature. For example, some products help to spread peters and some fish help to clean the water, but they eat too much. If the article way, the word steam can go well. Those meat cause too much of one kind of animals. Our take others disappear forever. Sometimes new animals can take over and harm the logical predators and animals. Secondly, the exact predators trade often lead to logical hurt, which makes rare animals disappear faster. Many of those animals are caught in with the hurt both the animals and nature. When we lose the spiritually animals, we lose the biodiversity, and that is important because it helps us to clean air, clean water, and stable salinity. Second, moving extract peters from one country to others also cause population. These animals are usually synced by the plants of tractor, which use a little fuel and created stable atmosphere. Some animals even died on the way because are not kept the good condition. This makes the trade not only helpful but also worthwhile. Also, when people let exact Peter go fail in natural, those animals can become a bigger program. For example, in Florida, sneakers called the python when relaxed and now they kill logical animals. They eat too much, go too fast, and make it harder on animals to live. Necessity of owning wild animals, I believe we should protect nature. We can do this by the saving weather practices and supporting and economy. This way, we can enjoy wild animals in their real home and help support the in for future home. This is all my opinion. Thank you.
All right, thank you for your input. Based on what we heard, the main point of the conflicts appears to be ethical treatment and right of exotic animals, risk to public safety, and zoonotic disease. So let's now move into a constructive discussion. I will pose a few questions to guide you. What are the potential risks of keeping exotic animals as pets, and can they be responsibly mitigated? How does the exotic pet ownership impact biodiversity and conservation? Let's hear from Saad on each question before we move to the next.
Okay, thank you for asking your two questions. First, I would like to discuss about the first question, keeping exotic animals, the significant risk. So first of all, if we talk about the public safety, so exotic animals can be unpredictably dangerous because, for example, large reptiles or primates have attacked owners or escaped into neighborhoods and harming other people nearby. And secondly, animal welfare issues. Many exotic species like complex dietary, environmental, and social needs that are difficult to meet in captivity. Now, this often leads to poor mental and physical health for the animal, even with well-meaning owners. And third of all, we can say the environmental threats. If released or escaped, or non-native species can become invasive, harming local ecosystems. A well-known example is the Burmese python population in the Florida Everglades. Now, if let's move on to your second question, which you asked about ownership effects to the biodiversity and the conservation in several ways. So first of all, it is about the wildlife and wildlife depletions. Many exotic animals are captured directly from the wild. This disrupts the ecosystem, reduces native population, and can push vulnerable species closer to extinction. And secondly, we can say habitat destruction. So poachers and traders often damage natural habitats while collecting animals, further threatening the survival of various species. Thirdly, captivating breeding concern. While some argue for legal captive breeding, it can mask illegal trade and does not replicate the ecological role animals plays in their natural habitats. In conclusion, exotic pet ownership undermines conservation goals and contributes to biodiversity loss. Real conversation involves protecting species in their natural environment, not in private homes. Thank you.
All right, so thank you all for the valuable input and thoughtful participation in today's meeting. I believe we had a meaningful discussion on the complex issue of exotic pet ownership, particularly from an environmental, ethical, and academic standpoint. So, to summarize, we explored that how removing wildlife from their natural habitats harms ecosystem and biodiversity, the role exotic pet ownership plays in encouraging illegal wildlife trade and increasing carbon emission, the financial burden and society impact caused by abandonment or improperly cared for exotic animals. We also identify some actionable solutions. Some of it are strengthening legal framework, launching targeted public awareness campaign, and promoting the ethical adoption of local animal instead of exotic ones. So as a next step, I will compile a written summary of today's discussion and share it with all the participants within the next few days. I will also assign a small working group to begin drafting early policy proposal and educational outreach ideas based on today's contribution. So let's remember that while that protecting wild animals is not only a matter of personal responsibility but is also a collective commitment to preserving the environment and safeguarding future generation. So once again, thank you for your engagement and collaboration. This meeting is now officially adjourned. Thank you.